Welcome to Create Your Own Economy podcast, the weekly podcast that equips you with the know-hows, the strategies, tools, and resources to create your own economy, grow your business, and live the life you desire. If you have not done so, hit the subscribe button so you will never miss an episode. Hello and welcome. I am your host, Bunmi Ajibade, and I have a special guest on the podcast today, Nancy Steidl. She has an extensive business consultancy knowledge. Nancy has supported business growth for over many years, and today, she will break down the simple steps you need to follow. So you need to listen. Simple steps. We keep everything simple here. Simple steps you need to follow when starting your business. And the most important thing for you is to achieve success. That's why you need to listen. Nancy, welcome to Create Your Own Economy.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm really delighted to be here. I love your energy, and I think this show is going to be really good, and we're going to leave people and your audience members and my audience members with lots of really good information about keeping things very simple when you start a business.
Yes, definitely. So let me just tell you a little bit about Nancy. And I had to make it small because she has extensive bio. Nancy is an international business consultant who helps structure businesses, and she is an intellectual property law specialist. Her ability to break down complex legal concepts into simple, actionable strategies that resonate with businesses of all sizes sets her apart. And let me tell you, that was what resonated with me also. Education has always been a driving force in Nancy's career. And let me tell you this, Nancy has completed 3 master's degrees. One in international business law, followed by an MBA, and the most recent one in international intellectual property law. Her thirst for knowledge is unquenchable, and she continues to expand her understanding through ongoing studies. Outside of professional pursuits, Nancy will release her book, and I cannot wait to get one. The Art of Analogies in Business. How to start a business in layman's terms. Don't we all need that? In layman's terms. And she will release that in December 2024. And right now, it is available for pre-order. You can go to her website for that pre-order, www.thebusinessmission.com. And Nancy is here to share her amazing and rewarding journey with us. Again, Nancy, we are happy to have you here today. We are so happy and blessed.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I've really enjoyed being here so far.
Yes. So this is the thing, Nancy. You are an intellectual. You love education. 3 master's degrees. What inspired you to start a business?
That's a wonderful question. So what inspired me to start my business was this really deep-seated desire to help others understand the importance of structuring a business correctly from the onset. I know we have had that conversation about how people jump in, to start a business, but don't correctly start from the onset. So over the years, I have seen countless innovative ideas, and they have fallen short, not because they lack potential, but because they weren't built on solid foundation. So proper business structuring is absolutely vital, and it ensures the legal complacent, you can protect your intellectual property, you create that framework for the business, and it also creates that roadmap for growth. So by starting my own business, and I have started other businesses, my own business that I've owned and I've sold, I aim to guide entrepreneurs through these complexities, making it easier and enabling them to turn their visions into sustainable and thriving enterprises. So my ultimate goal is to empower those with the knowledge and tools that they need to build these robust business structures that support them in a long-term success.
Look, amazing. Because, what I've also seen is that when we have gone through something, it's easier for us also to say, look, I have seen this and I want to help you because all this that you're doing is great. You have these great ideas, but if it's not on solid footing, let me tell you what will happen. It will not work. You have great ideas, but build your house on a solid footing, So we keep on shouting it and preaching it. And that is what we do on this podcast. I'm bringing people like you here to say, look, we are telling you, your ideas are great, but come back because some of them have started the business. Can they come back to reset? Is it possible?
Well, it's very hard and it's a longer journey because imagine you lay some concrete on the ground and the foundation under that concrete was not solid, or you decide, I'm going to build a house and I'm not going to lay the foundation, but I'm just going to put this framework on. So, there's a saying, it costs more to fire than to hire. So it's really important that every idea, like you say, and I would totally agree with it, can actually work if you take a moment to, put the foundation. It for a lot of people is very boring because they just, it's a bit like they want to, jump into bed without understanding what's involved where there's a child that they might get pregnant in the long run.
Right.
So it's just important. I would say, don't make decisions when you're too happy and don't make decisions when you're too depressed. Just get into a very leveled place where you can see clearly and understand, okay, I want to build this house or I want to build this business. What is the foundation part first before I proceed forward with it? What
is the foundation first? That is the question. You have this great idea. See, is entrepreneurs or people that have great ideas, the energy behind the idea, the fire behind the idea is so much that they want to start running a sprint where they're supposed to be crawling. So what I heard you say is before you start running, ask yourself, what is the foundation that I need to lay first? That is very important. So the other thing I want to ask you, I know you have observed so many people and you have seen that so many things can limit business growth in the startup sector. So many things. And can it be improved?
Oh, absolutely. I think there is a stigma that people feel that maybe business plans are useless or it's just about educating people to understand. Again, when we come back to that foundation thing, you wouldn't take an airplane down a runway that wasn't solid. And that's the same with your idea. is that you need a solid runway to get the plane off. But it definitely can be improved. It can be improved with people like you and I talking about it and just educating more people about the importance of when you decide to start a business. Just take a step back and see the bigger picture. I think a lot of entrepreneurs that are not educated on structure, they have a short-term mentality. They don't have a long-term mentality. They don't see what could happen in 10 years' time. I think maybe sometimes it is like, well, I'll have a child, but not realize that, oh, well, the child's one day going to be 10 years old. So I need to be able to prepare for that outcome. Well, it's important, don't get me wrong, it's important to stay present. And the way we do that is just stay calm in the present and work like when you decide to start a business. This is really good because I do this with my clients, is I tell them, go get yourself a pot and some soil and a seed, okay? And put it on your windowsill. And every time you add to your business plan, I want you to water that plant. And you will see the time that it takes for this plant to grow is the same with your business. You know, the reward, if you were to plant, let's say, an apple tree in your backyard, well, apple trees take maybe 10 years to get to the full form. It's the apple in the end that's going to make you the money. So I think the improvement comes by getting educated, you know, and I don't think there's enough knowledge out there. You see kids in school and there isn't really an entrepreneurial course that they can take to understand how correctly to start a business. So we need to improve in schools. We need to just get the message out there. It's hard with entrepreneurs because they are a bit stubborn and, you know, they have their own drive and they just like, well, I can do it myself. But yeah, they should listen to other people that have done it. They don't necessarily have to do it like your path or my path, but they can take on board what we have mentioned from our own experience. It's like we listen to our grandparents or our parents about what they've done and not necessarily all follow what they do or what they've done, but at least we can say, okay, we got those pointers and we'll adapt it to what's right for us.
Yes. And that brings me to another thought. You know, people, especially entrepreneurs, and I was one of them at the beginning, and then I've seen so very many also come. Their thought is, this is my baby. I know my baby, you know, it will thrive and all that. And they don't need a coach. They don't need anybody. I can do it by myself. And what actually, you know, there was somebody that has been struggling with a business and it wouldn't just grow. And I said, look, I was asking me, how can I make this business grow? I said, who is your mentor? Who is your coach? I don't have one. So what would you say to our listeners about the value of hiring a coach, about the value of bringing us to work with them? How will that help them in their business?
Yes, we all need people to help us. Okay, so, you know, it's like you decide you're going to build a house. You need to work with an architect unless you know how to build it. But there's this saying, it takes a village to grow a child.
Yes.
So you need people around you to help you. And whether it's coaching, whether it's mentoring, whether it's just doing a structure of a business plan, if you've not done it before, let's say I decide I'm going to be the next, Usain Bolt, you know, the runner. Okay. Well, that runner became well known because he had a great coach who would be there at 4 a.m. in the morning to run with him, to train and so forth. So again, if you've never started a business before in your life, it's really important that you work with somebody that can guide you. And of course, you need to keep your own identity and you need to keep what you need to do. But I always say you can be the greatest chef in the world, but if you start a business and you don't know how to structure it, you are not going to get anywhere. So having a passion for something and how to structure that passion are two very different ball courts.
Yes.
Which very little people understand. If I want to learn piano lessons, I'm going to go to a piano teacher. If I want to learn ballet, I'm going to go to a ballet teacher. If I want to become a great athlete, I'm going to go to an athlete coach. Do you know what I mean? When you see football, you see a coach with a team of people. So it's the same with anything that you do. I went to university and I paid these teachers to teach me things that I didn't know. And I wouldn't, maybe I could have got that off the internet, but I think a degree, some people say, oh, maybe a degree is not useful, but a degree gives you consistency. It gives you, you've got to hit those deadlines to put your paper in. And on top of that, it gives you this reliability that you show up in class. So when people say, oh, I don't need a degree. Yeah, fair enough. You might be one of those entrepreneurs. But what I find a degree does is give those points what I just mentioned. But also I obtain knowledge that somebody else has had that I can help my clients with.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Look, if you think you can build a house by yourself, you are the carpenter, you are the mason, you are the bricklayer, you can do the lighting, you can do everything. Perfect. But if you can meet deadline, if you can do all this by yourself, perfect. But what we have seen is that you will still need us.
And the process is much longer and it's harder. Great. Yes. The thing is, if you want to learn how to do plumbing, you will have to take a course. So you in the end, you can do one business plan with me. That's great. But then I get the assurance that you know what the hell you're doing and you can go off and set up another business. That's okay. But the initial steps to anything is like deciding to have a baby. The first baby, you need a midwife or a doctor. You need to go see a doctor. And then when the baby comes out, maybe there's the grandma and grandpa and they're going to help you and, so forth. So going alone on a journey is very lonely and it's very hard actually and quite frustrating, I would think.
It's hard. And you know what? We just support you and go with you on the journey. But the most important thing is you are the expert of your business. We are not coming to tell you what to do. No, but we're just along the journey with you. Now, Nancy, I love your analogies. Building a house, the baby. I just love your analogies. They just help me remember stuff. And also, it gives the importance of what I'm trying to remember. And your book, the name of your book, The Art of Analogies in Business, How to Start a Business in a Layman's Term. Can you give us a sneak preview, a sneak nugget from the soon-to-be-released book?
Yes, I really, really love this book because I found a lot of business books as I was setting up my business really hard to understand.
Yeah,
and also,
I agree.
So I think if you can translate in a language or in a analogy way to make people understand how to start a business just a little bit easier, because I do think business is easy. It's just we overcomplicate it with overthinking complexities. So if it's written down in layman's terms where it's just easy for you to understand, then I think it makes the process a lot easier. There's 32 chapters and each chapter does have an analogy in it. What I can give you a snippet of a sort of analogy that I really like, which is the child analogy. And I did sort of briefly touch on that, but, deciding to start a business is a bit like deciding to have a child. So, what you want to do is you want to be passionate about the person before you jump into bed with them. And then you want to make sure that you are prepared to be pregnant and to have this child and give this child a fair chance in life. Okay, so you want to save, you want to, make sure that it's got a roof over its head. You want to, the basics, like it's got food, it's got a roof over its head, some clothes. And the first 9 months is all the structure part. So you aren't, ideally you're going to wait to sort of month 4 or 5 before you even tell anybody that you have an idea. And it's the same with the baby, because you want to make sure that nothing ruffles the feathers of the baby's structure in the womb. So you want to make sure that you have spent time in developing structure and giving the baby the structure in the womb. Now, when the baby comes out, it needs a birth certificate. So that's a trademark. Okay, so you need to trademark your company, because trademark is very important. It's a very important asset to a business, but also it defines you from other people out there, and it gives you the security that other people aren't going to use that name. Now, when the baby comes out, a lot of people think that their business can make them millions in month 1.
Month 1, okay? Yes.
Oh yeah, a lot of people think that. But let's look at the baby scenario. Do you think a baby can go get you a job, in month 1, 4 weeks after it's born? Chances are no. No. It's going to rely on you for the first year, maybe 2 years. And that's the time where you're guiding and you're putting structure. And, everybody's going to be really excited about your idea. But down the road, when you tell them, hey, mate, can you come over at 2 a.m. and feed my baby? Well, they're going to say, I love you as a mate, but I'm too busy. No. So that's the same again. We think that when we start a business, our family and friends are going to support us and they're going to be there 110%. And it's not the case. There are going to be some, but you have to be prepared that this may be a lonely journey for you, and that you need to find the drive, the determination, and the reason why you're doing it. And you should always set up a business because you have a passion that could help others, not because of the money. The money will follow.
Yes.
But you have to understand the first couple of years, you're just structuring this baby. Now, by year 3, if you have spent enough time in the structure part, the baby can stand. But like a baby, your revenue will go up and down, because it wobbles.
Yes.
But again, what you're doing is you're presenting. Now you got a 3-year-old, you're at the park, it's running around, people are noticing it. By year 4 or 5, it's now other people are coming in the picture. Like maybe you've got a marketing person coming in, so that's the kindergarten. Maybe it's the nursery coming in, so you've got the nursery person, that's the branding person. And then you've got the sports person, then you've got the music teacher. So they're all key elements. If you are very wealthy, you still don't want to accumulate debt. So that means you've got to do a lot yourself in the first infancy years.
Yes.
Now, as the baby grows, you want to make sure you're giving it the right food, the right footwear, the right clothes, you're putting in the right schools, because when this baby gets older, you as a parent are going to have to exit it. Okay. And when I say exit, it's not about you're not a mom anymore, but maybe that child's going to go off and get married, or maybe it's going to go off to university, or maybe it's going to go off and, be a doctor or lawyer, or whatever it wants to do, maybe an entrepreneur. It means that you're taking a little side back, but you have developed a company. And in a business sense, when I say an exit strategy, you're developing all these assets that in 25 years, you say to yourself, okay, 25 years, I'm going to sell my business for 25 million. And I work backwards from that to put these assets in it. So when we come down to foundation, why it's so critical is you got to think long term. If you exit this business, do you have a business plan? Do you have a marketing plan? Do you have a trademark? Do you have the employees? Do you have the audience? Do you have the sales? They're all assets that are going to accumulate. I like to use the comparison to a car. So you have one car that has a steering wheel and maybe one seat, and over the duration of time didn't do anything to it. And then you've got another car that has a steering wheel, plush seats, surround sound, TVs. That car will be worth more. So it's the same when it comes to an exit strategy with business. It's just understanding everything. Even when you build a house hopefully with the idea that one day I'm going to sell this house and it's built very good and, it's not going to crumble and somebody will pay over the odds for it.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that analogy. And I have 3 sons. And as you are saying it, I'm thinking, wow. I'm doing check.
Did your sons get married?
2 of them are married. Number 1
Great.
Number 1 and number 3 are married. The middle is working on it. So that I'm thinking, wow.
Yes, because you're still their mother, but they have a wife and they've exited from the nest. And what you've done is you've installed the right morals and values so that they can exit onto their life. And that's what I mean about exit. In business, the analogy makes sense, but obviously in business, you're exiting, you're merging it. An exit strategy is like a fire exit. It's like when you build a business, you must understand where your fire exits are. So you can safely escape the business or safely leave the business when it's ready, when you're ready to go.
When you are ready to go, because you have built the business on a solid foundation and you have built the business over the years, adding more, taking off what is not serving the business so that you then get to a point where you want to sell the business or you want to retire, or you have also, maybe you have brought in your kids and they want to take up the business, and then you want to retire. You have enough money to go somewhere, like I want to go somewhere in Europe and just, live my life there and all that. But if the original work that was supposed to have been done was not done, then it will be fire brigade, where every time there's emergency truck coming, and it's like, and then before you look again, there's emergency. And when a business has emergency every other month, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, that makes you want to run away from the business or want you to say this business is not good. What Nancy is saying is that there's so many things that can be wrong. The business might be a good business, good concept. It might be that you did not take care from the beginning. You didn't take care of your baby. And now you have a baby that grew up unkempt and is rude, and they call you, is in nursery, and they call you because this baby is biting everybody, this baby is bullying everybody, this baby is beating up on everybody. So I love that analogy. I mean, I love analogies, and I love it so much. It's just amazing. And as you are listening to us, I will encourage you, please go to the website, go to www.thebusinessmission.com. This will help you if you are starting a business. Listen to Nancy. She knows what she's saying. Even with this one analogy, and how many chapters? 30 chapters?
There's 32 chapters, yes.
32 chapters of analogies. At least you will get 1 or 2 that will resonate with you, that you can hold on to build your business on. And if you already have a business and there's a lot of emergencies in your business, what she's saying is that you can correct some stuff. You can correct. And if you live in Texas, I live in Texas. If you live in Texas, my last house had foundation problems. Texas, we always have foundation problems. So we will hire foundation repair people. They will dig some things all around the house, put some stuff, jack up the house, repair the foundations, and then they settle your house, and then the house will be okay again. So in Texas, we have to, Texas is hot, so we have to water our foundations every time. So there is always something that can be done. That's another analogy, right?
Yes.
That even if something is wrong in your business, it can be repaired. That's what Nancy is saying. It can be repaired. You can hire somebody that can come along with you where you are struggling. It can be done. That's what we're telling you. Now, is there anything that you are working on, or is there anything that you think can help our audience? Anything you can recommend that can help our audience?
Yeah, well, definitely my book. Yes. I would say the book is really easy to read, and I've written it in a really easy manner. Like, I'm
in layman's terms.
Yes, I think a 3-year-old could read my book.
Look, when she said layman's terms, I'm so happy, because if she puts all the lawyers, if she adds all the law stuff in there, she will lose. Or so she just makes it like the way we speak. So I'm happy. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. I do offer courses, so I help people do business plans. Okay. I then work with other people that I can find them to execute the business plan with them. But I'm a structure, so I'm the foundation part. So we do business plans, we do marketing strategies and plans and brand strategies, and then work with them to find people to help guide them. So I'm a bit like the midwife, and I'm a bit like, I'll hold you through the pregnancy stage, because I'm all about the foundation. And then after that, we can find other people that will help you grow the child.
Yes.
But I just wanted to sort of point on one little thing which you mentioned about the foundation, and people you can go back and fix the foundation. Absolutely. And actually, many of my clients are those people in year 3 or 4 who didn't do the foundation. And now I'm trying to help educate them on restructuring that. But also, when you get to the exit and you don't have a car that can run, trying to sell the car for parts is very hard. And you won't get your money's worth either, because, maybe I could sell the steering wheel, but the engine doesn't work, or maybe I could sell the stereo. So trying to sell a business in parts, where I see a lot of people try to do that, it just doesn't, it's very, very hard.
They lose money. Lose money.
So just, if you are in a state where you feel, this business is collapsing, it can always be saved. As you mentioned with children, like, oh, you had a 5-year-old and he's a rebel. You can always, even adults go for therapy. So they try to undo things that weren't right for them in their childhood. And that's the same with your business. You can go to a business consultant and get that, quote unquote therapy of understanding. Some people have a bad relationship with food, or they have an addiction. And then when they go to somebody and they get rewired, on how to improve, and, their childhood doesn't define who they are. Yes. So starting a business is not going to define who you are, but you can definitely fix it and improve it, and then start moving forward again.
Yes, definitely. Oh, Nancy, thank you so much for coming to the podcast to share your knowledge and with our audience. It's just a pleasure. And I hope you will come back when the book is released. I really want you to come back. Would you come back?
Thank you so much. I will. Yeah, Bunny, you've been amazing as well. And you must keep doing these podcasts so that you can help other people out there. And, the more we do this, more educated people out there, then they will get the understanding how important that foundation part is to starting a business.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And this podcast is brought to you by Create Your Own Economy. This podcast, Create Your Own Economy, is brought to you by Claro Growth Resources. And we are an organization that promotes the growth and development of individuals, organizations, and businesses. We do that through coaching, training, and mentoring. So if you need mentoring, if you need coaching, if your team needs training, you can reach out to us. Now, if you are thinking of going into business and you are not sure if you are ready, I want you to go to my website, and I have a 10-point checklist you can take to determine if you are ready. So go to clarogr.com/checklist and take that 10-point list and see if you are ready, and then you can reach out to me and let's talk. Let's see if you are ready, and then we can support you. Please share this podcast with people and write your review. Let's see what you are thinking. Let's see, are you ready to build your business? The foundation, what Nancy has just said, where are you? Are you building the foundation? Do you have any question? And also go to Nancy's website and pre-order the book. The website is www.thebusinessmission.com. Let us pre-order the book, because she will come back when the book is released and we will have read the book and we'll be able to ask more questions. Thank you, Nancy, and we will see you people on the next episode.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. The best gift you can give me is by sharing this podcast with your friends, your family, and reviewing it, which will help this podcast to grow organically. If you want to create your own economy and live the life that you deserve, join my next workshop or schedule time with me. My purpose may as well be to help you on your journey. Visit clarogr.com/workshop. See you again next week.